Morena koutou. I'll start off with karakia, and then I just wanted to acknowledge New Zealand Sign Language Day, as well as Rotuman Week, Language Week, and then we'll get into our agenda after His Worship the Mayor says a few words about some of our community who have passed. So, inoi tātou, kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa paunamu te moana, hei huarahi ma tātou I te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou I a tātou katoa, hui e, tae ki e. May peace be widespread, may the sea be like greenstone, a pathway for us all this day. Let us show respect for each other, for one another, bind us all together. Amen. So in regards to sign language, firstly, and apparently I have to be animated, not that I am anyway, but it has to be animated. So I'm going to start. And noa ia e Māori, that's Rotuman for hello. And I just wanted to sort of say, with the sign language, it was good morning. My name is Alf, and I am the slimmest of all the councillors. So look, I'm just going to hand it over to His Worship the Mayor in regards to some people of our community who have passed. Tēnā koe te rangatira.
Kia ora, Alf, and tēnā koutou katoa. I want to briefly acknowledge two quite special people who have passed away in recent times, and to pay tribute to each of them for the amazing contribution that they have made to Tamaki Makaurau. The first is a lady called Jackie Chatlanar. Jackie and her husband Pierre migrated to New Zealand in the early 1950s, and they moved to the Kaipara and farmed a very large property, 843 hectares of land. But they had a vision as New Zealanders that they wanted to give something back to this country, and they donated this property, 845 hectares of farmland, which is now the Atu Regional Park. They had a vision for the land that they were farming, and the council's role since 2008 has been to seek to realise that vision by native tree planting, by pest management. Houses on the property have been made available for Aucklanders to book and stay in. There is also a campground, and we've held festivals here, such as the Earthbeat Festival. But to come to this country with a determination that you were going to give this to the country of your adoption, I think is a very special thing to have been done. So today we pay tribute both to Jackie, who recently passed away, but also to her late husband Pierre, for their vision, for their contribution, for their service to our city. The second person that I want to pay tribute to is known to many of us. His name is Brian Corbin, and Brian was part of that pioneering West Auckland family, the Corbin family, from Lebanon originally, that developed the wine industry in that area, and that have made an incredible contribution both to the West but also to the community and to New Zealand. Brian did a huge number of things. He'll be known to us most recently as the chair of Kiwi Rail, and he had an incredible passion for regenerating rail in New Zealand. And you know, I noted as we launched the tunnel boring machine on Friday that at the previous launch of that machine. Brian had been there in the audience and so proud of what was happening in his city in terms of the development of rail. In the past, he's also chaired Genesis Energy. He chaired Radio New Zealand. He, in the West, was chair of the West Auckland Trust Services and the Corbin Estates Arts Centre. And the Corbin Estate is, I think, one of the memorials to him and the Corbin family. And he was also really passionate about his role on the advisory board of the Melanesian Mission Trust, and I worked with him as Minister of Foreign Affairs on what the Melanesian Mission, well known to those in Ōrākei, of course, what they were able to contribute back to the Melanesian countries, in particular the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea. Brian was an incredible character, and those of us that attended his funeral, and Councillors Cooper and Dalton acknowledging in particular that were there, heard wonderful tributes from his two children, his two surviving children. And if you ever wanted a greater tribute than what his children gave to him, it would be hard to imagine what could be said. But a very decent person, a person of integrity and a person committed to making this city a better place. So we are the poorer for the passing of both of those individuals. Nā mate, haere, haere, haere atu rā, moi mai, moi mai, moi mai. And I wonder, Mr. Chair, if we can just have a minute's stand in silence in remembrance of these two great people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Worship. Look, I just want to acknowledge everybody's here. Councillors, Independent Māori Statutory Board, members of the public, advisory panels, our staff, those behind and also in front. I especially want to acknowledge and our three ladies on my right who are here helping with this. So look, we'll get into our agenda. Apologies, I've got apologies for non-attendance, and that's from Councillor Bartley, but also lateness apology from Councillor Henderson. Are there any further apologies also for Matua Muk? Yeah, an apology for Matua. Yeah. Are there any further apologies? If not, I will move it. Second is Councillor Young. I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. I then go through to the next one, which is electronic attendance. I have Councillors Fletcher, Newman, Collins and Sayers online. So I'm going to move that they attend this particular meeting. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Simpson. I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Declaration of interest, there's none. Confirmation of minutes, I will move the confirmation of minutes. If I could have a seconder, Councillor Casey. Councillor Casey, I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We'll then move into our next item, which is petitions. There are none. Public input, there are none. Local board, there are none. Extraordinary items, there are none. We now go into, I think, the bone